Hey guys, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Listen. This is going to be the last video that we do on the YouTube channel before the election. Election day is fastly approaching. It is next Tuesday, November the 7th. If you're like me, you're excited. You're ready for the outcome. You're ready to see how things are going. Early voting started a couple of weeks ago. Got a lot of good reports. Got some texts, got some calls, got some well wishes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things go. I'm excited about the future of Prince George County. All right. And I'm going to be honest with you. You know, if I win, I'm going to be excited. I'm ready to go to work. I've been going to work. Day one, I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to push for the things that I've said that I'm going to push for. I'm willing to work with who's willing to work with me. If I don't, I'm just going to keep on fighting, baby. If I don't, we're just going to keep on working. We're going to lick our chops. We're going to lick our wounds. We're going to get back out there. We're going to hustle. We're going to grind. We're going to make it happen. But I think it's going to turn out good for us. I think we got a good chance of making some substantive, big-time changes after we win this election, okay? So we're not crossing our fingers. We're going to go vote, right? We're going to go vote. We're going to go make this thing happen, all right? Listen. I've done the Sportsplex. I've talked about the solar farms. We just did one on the schools, okay? I've done my videos on my walks. I wanted to finish off today on what I believe is the future of Prince George County. And I wanted to touch base on a few things that are, if you pay attention to the board, that are kind of essentially who we are. And this is according to data from the fiscal year 23-24 budget. So this is something that I made up. Once again, hashtag all facts, hashtag all facts. That's what we're coming with. I'm going to talk about our current plan. From our strategic plan, I'm going to talk about our current vision and mission statement. And I'm going to talk about the future. I'm going to talk about not only what the future of Prince George looks like in a microcosm, but also what the future of our country looks like, what the future of the world looks like, and what our role is in that, what advantages we have, how we can play to those advantages, how we can build them up, and how we can all thrive. Because as I've said from the beginning, and as I will continue to say now, until the end, you know, when I'm elected, when I'm in office, I'm doing this for all county residents, not just a few, okay? And if you want to know my real opinion, which I've been given from day one, but I'll state it again, things that have been done in this county, and I can't say since the very beginning because I wasn't here for that, but since I've been aware of, and especially talking to people around the county, getting to know a lot of people, doing my research, finding out things, a lot of the moves that have been made, a lot of the deals that have been made, a lot of decisions that have been made for a select few, for a very small group of people, a very small group of landowners, a very small group of, you know, quote unquote, first families or big time families. Listen, it's 2023, okay? Prince George is one of the most diverse population counties in the state of Virginia. Prince George has the third largest U.S. Army training site in the county. It's time for us to do what's best for all county residents, okay? And that's going to start with this election, and we're going to push forward from here, okay? So listen, enough with the talk. Let's get to the video. All right, number one, listen. You saw me the last time I had my papers out. You're going to see me this time. I'm going to have my papers out, okay? We're going to start out with our community profile. Okay, so this is page 28. This is from the adopted fiscal year 23-24 county budget. So if you want to follow along, go to the website, download the fiscal year 23-24 budget, turn to page 28, and you're going to see something called a community profile, okay? Now, on this community profile, what you're going to see is, number one, that Prince George is a county with 43,295 residents. Okay, we're going to say that was then. Let's say that we're at, say 43,000, say 44,000 right now, okay? So 43,000 residents. We'll say we'll be at 50,000 residents. Let's do a conservative estimate, and let's say we'll be at 50,000 residents by 2030. So by 2030, you're looking at pushing that number to 50,000. Let's say by 2040, you're looking at pushing that number right there to about maybe 65, 70,000. Because over the last decade, we added 10,000 people. Over the last decade, Prince George County added 10,000 people, third time. Over the last decade, from 2010 to 2020, Prince George added over 10,000 people. And now, if you want to go ahead and scan on down, what you're going to see here is we're located in the southeast quadrant of the Richmond region. Prince George County is considered part of the Richmond region. So whatever else you think we are, whoever else you think we are located in the southeast part of the Richmond region. Listen, the Richmond region is the fastest growing region in the Commonwealth, okay? It has been that way for a couple of years, and it is projected to be that way throughout the rest of the decade for the next 10 to 15 years. So that means that you're going to have population trends that are going to continue to go upwards into the region that we live in, okay? And so on the top of that region, you're talking about the Richmond metro area, okay? You're talking Henrico, you're talking Hanover, you're talking Louisa, you're talking Goochland, you're talking areas like that, right? You're talking Powhatan, you're talking Chesterfield, ooh, okay? Now, what you're not talking about, and a lot of people don't think about when you think about the Richmond region, you need to be thinking about places like New Kent, okay? You need to be thinking about places like New Kent. I'm going to talk about that going forward a little bit, okay? But also, you need to be thinking about our home. You need to be thinking about Prince George County, all right? So just like any county or any country, you're going to have spillover. So just like you have people that are wanting to immigrate into America, you're going to have people that are going to want to come into Prince George County. All right, you're going to have prosperous places that are growing up, whether they're growing fast, whether they're growing slow, whatever your opinion on that. The point of the matter is they're going to continue to grow, and people who are going to get pushed out are going to want to go somewhere. Okay, Prince George County has always been one of those locations where people find desirable. So they're going to want to come to our county. So whether you want it to or not, Prince George County is going to continue to grow. So we need to speak to that. Okay, now listen. And this is right here in the community profile. Once again, I'm not making this up. This is coming from the board. This has been done by the county administrator. This has been put together for us. This is real. This is a real document. This isn't just Brandon talking, okay? Listen, Prince George County has transitioned from an agricultural economy. We have transitioned, okay? We are no longer an agricultural economy, okay? To an industrial and informational economy. This is who we are. We are an industrial and informational economy. So the notion that we need and we must have and we must cater to everyone that has all this farmland, that we must do everything to maintain and hold all this farmland, that's not true. And to be honest with you, that is not going to help us moving forward because that's not who we are anymore. Who we are right now is an industrial and informational economy. So whatever we're going to do to build and to be better, it needs to be based on who we are, not who we were, okay? Second time, it needs to be based on who we are and not who we were, okay? Now, with that being said, also in the community profile, and I do want to pay really close attention to this, and I am going to talk about this. It is important. It has been part of the fabric of this community for a long time. It will continue to be part of the fabric of this community. It needs to have a much bigger role. And once I'm elected, once I'm in office, you know what? There are already things that are in motion right now that are going on with the Good Neighbor program, with the Hopewell Prince George Chamber of Commerce, with the Southern Virginia Chamber of Commerce, with our school systems. But especially going forward, this is going to be a relationship that I am going to look to build for the benefit of everybody. Once again, for the benefit of all county residents, okay? Now listen, and this is on the community profile. Fort Gregg Adams is the county's largest economic asset. One more time, Fort Gregg Adams is the county's largest economic asset, okay? They do 2.4 billion with a B in economic impact throughout the region every single year, okay? $2.4 billion, okay? Now, and just, you know, and so you're talking about the Richmond region, so you're talking about the Richmond metro area, you know, you're talking about, you know, and just in our area, you're talking about Petersburg, you're talking about Hopewell, you're talking about Prince George, you're talking about Dinwiddie, you know, you are talking about Hanover, places to go, you are talking about New Kent, but that 2.4 billion, that's a big number. Look at what's going on around the world right now. Look at what's going on internationally. You think that number isn't going to grow? You think there aren't going to be more people who are going to be coming in here that are going to be spending money, that are going to be part of our local economy? Think about that number, okay? Think about this relationship, all right? With that being said, 70,000 troops, and these are current numbers. These are current numbers. You have 70,000 troops that are passing through Fort Gregg each year. 70,000 troops that are going through the Sustainment University every single year. 70,000 troops that are coming here, that are taking classes, that are doing AIT, that are doing whatever is necessary from the United States Army to make sure that they're ready to go out and to defend us. 70,000. And that's at current levels. Look at what's going on overseas right now. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. Look at what's going on in Europe right now. But a lot of people don't realize what's going on. Look at what's going on in Africa right now. We've got thousands and thousands of troops stationed and being sent to both West Africa and East Africa as we speak, okay? Things are heating up. So that number right there, that's 70,000 in 2023, that number could be 100,000 in 2025. That number could be 125,000 in 2030, okay? And if you're like, oh man, you know, you're doing a lot, bro, you know, that's, who's to say that we're gonna be doing anything that long? We just got out of Afghanistan. We just left Afghanistan a couple of years ago. We were there for 20 years, okay? We were in Iraq for what, 10 years, 11 years, 12 years? We don't go places anymore and just leave. We've been in a proxy war with Syria, okay? That's been going on. We're in a proxy war right now with Russia over the Ukraine. What's going on in Africa is going on with China. So listen, let's be real. This is a permanent war economy. We all know that, okay? As it was the old saying, war is the health of the state. War is the health of the state. These numbers are going to continue to go up, okay? So take the 70,000 current troops that are passing through Fort Gregg, and also let's talk about the 28,500 daily population that's on base right now. That's a current number. And the 63,000, listen, you got 28,000. That's the daily population that's on base right now. And you got another 63,000 that's off post current. So take all those numbers, okay? Take the 70,000, take the 28.5, take the 63, and let's up those numbers by thousands, because you're talking about us being in a situation now internationally where we're going to have an uptick in our military. Okay, and if there's an uptick in our military, there's going to be an uptick of local population that's going to be coming in here. Okay, some in the short term, some in the intermediate, and some for the long term. We have a huge military population that's in here right now, and we need to acknowledge that, and we need to accept that. Also, too, and this is on the community profile. I'm just going to switch it over. This is on page 30. Okay, and this is where I got a lot of information for the public schools, and so you can see it right there, page 30. You see the chart talking about who's in our schools. I also want to say, too, that in 2022, 2023, Prince George County Public Schools served 1,532 K through 12 military dependent students, okay? That's 25.4% of our school system, okay? So over 25% of our current students in Prince George County schools are from Fort Gregg. So what's going to happen when these numbers go up, when these numbers go up, when these numbers go up? These numbers are going to go up. So remember, part of these numbers, part of these 1,532 K through 12 military dependent students that come in here, they're also going to be part of the fabric of those 54% of students that are considered economically disadvantaged, okay? They're also going to be part of that percentage of kids who are going to come in here who are part of a majority minority population school district, okay? So all things being equal, you look at the census and you look at how Fort Gregg Adams is currently composed and how it will be composed in the future. These trends are going to continue. I just said that in the last video, and I'm going to continue to say that, okay? So what are we doing to get out in front of this? Not to be reactionary and take care of the problem or take care of the issue once it gets here and it's been here for a little while. What are we doing to actually get out in front and do something to say, hey, this is actually happening right now. This is a number that's going to continue. This is actually something, a benefit to our local economy, to the local people here, something that we can do and take advantage of, work with people who are part of our community, work with people who've been considered our largest economic asset by your current board of supervisors, by your current county administrator. What are we doing to take advantage of this, okay? What are we doing, okay? And that's my job. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain people and there's certain situations that people are built for. And I said, I'm going for a position of leadership. I know how to do this job. It didn't take a lot of research, but it took a little bit. And so I don't know who else is out here talking to you about Fort Gregg. I don't know who else out here that's running for board of supervisors or any other position that's talking to you about international affairs in the Ukraine or in the Middle East or in Africa. But all those things matter to us locally. All those things are going to shape who we are in the next 2, 5, and 10 years. And so if you're not talking about that, then you're not ready for the situation, you're not ready for the job, okay? All right, take that with you. Now let's move on. Let's move on. All right. Listen, the current plan, the non-plan plan, okay? The non-plan plan. Let's go to the current plan. Let's go to the current plan. All right. So, and so I got my paperwork. I want to get some things, okay? Now listen, this is also from the adopted budget fiscal year 23-24. This is from the adopted budget. This is on page 17. You can go to the county website. You can download this thing. We can all follow along. We can all read together. Somebody said on, one of the groups, he's got a board. He's got a bunch of numbers. It must be right. I would hope so. They've got a website. It's got a whole bunch of words and numbers on it. I hope they're right too. All right. You're voting for people that you want to be on there. Hopefully they can read these numbers. Hopefully they can make sense of these words and see what we can do. Okay. Now, this is the current board. This is their vision statement. Okay. Prince George County, a welcoming community, embracing its rural character, focusing on its prosperous future. Okay. There's a little bit in there for everybody. So one more time, this is the vision statement. The vision. This is what the current board of supervisors, the current board, the current men and women that are up there. This is what they see. A welcoming community, embracing its rural character, focusing on its prosperous future. They are focused on what is coming. Okay? So you're going to embrace who you are. Like, this is who we are. This is who we've been. But this is where we're going. This is where we're going. Okay? Good. All right. The mission statement. The mission statement. The mission statement. Every company's got a mission statement. If you own a business, you're supposed to put together your mission statement. If you work for another company, you guys have got a mission statement. Sometimes you go to your meetings and your boss, your supervisor, whoever, or if you work for me, I don't do it that much because I know it's annoying. But hey, let's go over the mission statement. The mission statement. This is from the current board. This is on the fiscal year 23-24 adopted budget. This is on page 17 if you want to follow along. It's to provide high quality, customer-focused public services to our residents, businesses, and guests, so they experience a safe, enjoyable, and thriving community, okay? We want to provide high-quality, customer-focused public services to our residents, okay? I'm going to focus on high quality because we're going to get at some things here in a second. Customer-focused public services, okay, to our businesses, residents, and guests, okay? So they can experience a safe, enjoyable, and thriving community. Fair enough. Sounds good, right? Okay, good. Now, let's play the game. Let's play the game. Let's talk about why we come here. Let's talk about why you would elect someone like me. Why you would pick someone like me as opposed to picking someone else, okay? Now, there's a certain thing that I learned at VMI, Virginia Military Institute, okay? Now, that's called continuity of leadership, okay? Now, when you have leaders that are currently in place, whether you like them or not, all that, blah, 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 that's all good. You have leaders who are in place. They have to put together a strategy in order to move the unit forward, okay? Their job is to make sure that they're taking care of the group. They're gonna get input from everybody else, yes. So everybody who wants to say something smart and something cool and a little quip, like, all right, you're supposed to follow the people, fair enough, I understand that, okay? This is a democratic republic. But your leadership is supposed to put together a strategy that focuses on what you think is important and what they know is needed and move forward to make sure that everybody is served effectively, okay? So the strategic plan, and this is from the same page, page 17, the Board of Supervisors recognizes its responsibilities of providing core services to the citizens of Prince George in the areas of education, public safety, and social services, okay? The following strategic priorities have been put forth to advance the vision and mission of the county. Strategic priority number 1 is infrastructure. Strategic priority number 2 is economic development and prosperity. Strategic priority number 3 is land use and development. And strategic priority number 4 on a strategic plan is good governance. These 4 things right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, is what the current Board of Supervisors, what the current county administrator, what the current government thinks are the most important things for this county. Okay, this. Not something that they made up in a meeting, not something at a town hall because they wanted to make a certain person happy because after he rallied everybody together to kind of get the troops on the same page so they could say the same things to appeal to this small group of people. No. This is what the current Board of Supervisors says. This is what we need to move our county forward for all 43,295 people, okay? Infrastructure, economic development and prosperity, land use and development, and good governance, okay? That is what they're saying. So let me just do this. And as part of my platform, what am I running on? What have I been saying from the beginning? If you look at the banners out there, infrastructure, business development, okay, and fully funded public schools and public services, right? That would fall under prosperity, in my opinion, economic development, and that's really good governance, by the way. So if anybody has continuity with what's been put in place, what the plans already are, whose vision, whose mission is currently in line with what the county sees and what county leadership understands to be the most important priorities for all 43,295 residents, that's me. Okay? So anybody else that's getting up there talking all this stuff, that's only to appeal to a small group of people. It's only to make a small group of people who've been here since time immemorial, whose families have been here since time immemorial, to make them feel good because they want to keep things the status quo, because the status quo does not benefit all 43,295 current residents that live in the southeast quadrant of the Richmond region, the fastest growing region in the Commonwealth. My plan and what I have in line for us and what I have in line for the future is in perfect alignment with the strategic plan of the current Board of Supervisors to make sure that we provide a focused and prosperous future, okay, and provide high quality and customer focused public services to our residents, businesses, and guests. I'm the candidate that's running on that. I'm the candidate that's for that. And so if you actually want to keep things moving in the right direction to make sure that everybody's served and everybody has what they need on November the 7th, if you haven't already voted for me, you need to vote Massenburg, okay? Now listen, if the strategic plan is infrastructure, right, and these are things we're working on, if the mission statement is to provide high quality customer focused public services, okay, if the vision is to make sure that we are focusing on a prosperous future, on the same page on a strategic plan, okay, page 17, it says right here under infrastructure, which is number 1 on the list, Prince George County's current water and sewer infrastructure is unable to support the industrial, commercial, and residential growth occurring throughout the county. One more time, our current water and sewer infrastructure is unable to support the industrial, commercial, and residential growth occurring throughout the county. Right now, what we have is not good enough. So anybody telling you that we can just putter along with what we got, with more people coming in, with international conflict that's going to bring in more people from the outside, they're lying to you. Okay? They're lying to you. They're placating a small group of people because they want to keep the status quo because it keeps those people in power and it makes those people happy. They do not have the best interest of everybody at heart. Right now, we don't even have enough water and sewer to be a viable option for growth for people that are here. Okay? Listen, next page, page 18, adopted fiscal year 23-24 budget, Prince George County Board of Supervisors. In order to maintain the quality of life expected by Prince George County residents, it is important that this infrastructure keep pace with the growing needs of the community, okay? What have I been saying since day one? The first video I did, the first post that I put out on my website, the first thing that I said, we need a new water system. We need a new fresh water system. It's going to cost us $40 million. I don't care. Well, $40 million? Yeah, $40 million. For $40 million, we can have fresh water going throughout our entire county so we can embrace our rural character, so we can focus on our prosperous future, so we can provide high quality and customer focused public services to our residents, businesses, and guests, and so they can all, not just a few, not just a couple of people who were saying, oh, well, my well is fine. Everything on my end is okay. Everything for me is good for all county residents. So all county residents can experience a safe, enjoyable, and thriving community. Okay? Everybody's great grandma and great grandpa and Mimi and Pawpaw, everybody didn't have 100 acres of land to hand down to you. Everybody didn't have 400 and 500 acres of land that they got built, that they got in Prince George, however they got it, to just carve up and go get you a house. Okay? Some people came here with nothing but their shirts and shirts on their back and shoes on their feet. They came here with a dream. They're like my parents. My parents moved up here from Sussex County. My dad came here, he was working for UPS. When my mom came here, she was working for Crestar. When they bought their house in Branchester Lakes in 1992, we moved here to start a better life. Okay, fast forward to 2023, my parents are out here in Cedar Creek. My dad's driving feeder for UPS, been at the company for 40 years. Not many people can say that, especially about the economy right now, because jobs don't have people for 40 years, because that's the world that we live in. Okay, my mom, county resident, been here, part of the community. She's at Food Lion now, retired from her other career. Now she's at Food Lion. Both of them are grandparents. Both of them are homeowners, okay? Both of them are able to grow and develop in Prince George County. And so what I want to be able to do is to provide that same opportunity to anybody else who is currently here or anybody else who's going to be coming here in the near future, okay? And you can't do that if you're not growing and if you're not providing the services and things that are necessary for people to grow and develop and thrive. Okay? If you're not adding the water, if you're not adding the wastewater, if you're not doing basic infrastructure things, if you're not improving the roads, if you're not doing those things, then if you're not having broadband access to the internet, if you don't have broadband available throughout the entire county, where's that at? These are things that are happening right now, and you read them and you're like, this is going on. We won't have, not even, look, building on the progress that's already been made. By December 31st, 2025, that's still 2 years off. 90% of county residents will have access to consistent high-speed internet. 90% in 2025. So in 2 more years, 90% of people in the county will have access to high-speed internet. What if COVID hits again? What if we get COVID again? And then and it's worse. God forbid, but it's worse. And now you really can't go to school. You really can't make everybody essential and force everybody to go back to school because that's the only way that you can educate your kids. Now you're going to have people who can't even get online and do the schoolwork because we don't even have the infrastructure to make sure that everybody has working internet. Look, same page. By 2028, that's 5 years from now. 2028, 5 years from now. 55% of new and existing businesses within Prince George County planning area will have access to adequate sewer system. So in 5 more years, 55% of new and existing businesses will have adequate wastewater. By 2028, 52% of residents in the county planning area will have access to adequate sewer system. So in 5 years from right now, 55% and 52% of residents, so just over half, will have access to adequate sewage. So that means that right now in 2023, half of your county doesn't have access to adequate sewage. And it's funny because you'll say something like that and people will shrug it off, or it's not that big a deal. That's a huge deal. That is a huge deal. Listen to me. In 2028, 43% of new and existing businesses within Prince George County planning area will have access to adequate water system that meets their needs. 43% by 2028, in 5 years, 43%. By 2028, 43% of residents in Prince George County planning area will have access to an adequate water system that meets their needs. So in 5 more years, 43% will have access to adequate fresh water. And anybody who knows, if you live in Branchester like I do, if you live off of Walton Lake like my in-laws do, half the time they're running their water, it's brown, it's black, it's dirty. In Prince George County, we've had to turn our water off over in Branchester at least twice this last year, maybe 3 times. Something's gotten into the water, we got to turn it off, we got to make sure it's clean. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. And this notion, well, we can't all be on well water, okay? That's ridiculous. I'm not going for that. I'm not entertaining that thought. This is 2023, okay? We live in a first-rate country. We live in the global hegemon. We're the #1 country in the world, okay? We're a county in Virginia. We should have fresh running water. It shouldn't even be an issue. If you're trying to build a business Why would you want to come somewhere where half the damn county doesn't even have running water? If I'm serious, if you're running a big company and you want to employ thousands of people, why would you come here? Why would you want to do that? And that's one of the things right here. So when you look on the same page at 18 under economic development and prosperity, by December 31st, 2025, so 2 years off, 3 new businesses in the industrial area. By 2027, 4 years from now, another 3 new businesses. By 2032, 9 years from now, 4 new businesses. So you're talking about an additional 10 businesses in there in 10 years. When we can get the water supply and get that done right now, and according to, this is on the economic development and tourism from the fiscal year adopted budget. This is on page 34. We go ahead and handle our business right now like we're supposed to. We had 40 industrial prospects with several site visits evaluating locations in Prince George County. 40 industrial prospects, not 40 small mom and pop shops, not 40 little, 1, 2 people businesses, 40 industrial prospects that want to look into Prince George County. The prospects were generated by Virginia Gateway Region and Virginia Economic Development Partnership. And so when I made the statement before, which is a true statement, which is information that I received, which is being corroborated right here on the fiscal year 23-24 adopted budget, page 34, that we've lost billions of dollars in economic opportunities because we don't have the infrastructure and water capabilities to provide for our county. That's what I'm talking about, and it's right here. It's right here. Hell, listen, where's it at? Listen, right here. You're talking about, everybody's like, oh, Rolls Royce is gone. Rolls Royce is gone. Bad deal? Maybe. That's in the past. That's gone. But here you are right now at Cross Point Logistics Center. You got the company that's in there right now. And they are Silverman, the Silverman Group. Listen, Cross Point Logistics Center is a former state-of-the-art aircraft manufacturing campus, okay? Listen, it's 292,000 square feet. It sits on 900 acres parcel, okay? What they want to do with that right now is they want to build an additional 7 buildings on the campus. They want to build an additional 7 buildings on the campus consisting of 3.3 million square feet of newly constructed Class A manufacturing and distribution facilities. And they cannot do it. They cannot do it. They cannot provide the economic boost that we need to our county residents. They cannot help us provide a high quality and customer focused public service to residents, businesses, and guests so they can enjoy and experience a safe, enjoyable, and thriving community. We cannot focus on our prosperous future. We can't do any of those things and let these people build because our infrastructure is not there. Okay? So this is important. There's nothing else that's more important to this. Everything in our county hinges on that. So anybody who's not for that, anybody who's not for getting the water in, anybody who's not for doing something about the wastewater, if you don't like the current plan where it is right now, there are other options to do it. But you got to face facts, man. We're going to continue to grow. We need to be able to be in control of our own resources. Why is America off going to war everywhere? To control resources. Why have countries fought wars since the beginning of time? To control resources. So we're in a local municipality. We want to have control of our resources. We have the ability to control our resources. Somebody needs to step up and do what's necessary, man. That's why I'm running for office, because I'm willing to bite the bullet and do what's necessary. I don't want to do this for life. I've got other plans. I've got other goals. There are other things that are more important than just sitting up in Prince George County, having everybody look at me when I'm walking in the food line and go, hey, man, he's on the board of supervisors. That doesn't get me up in the morning, okay? I can't, put that in my gas tank. You can't put that in your gas tank, okay? I don't walk around skipping through the county because everybody knows I'm on the board. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here, do my job, and I'm going to move on. But I'm not moving on, and I'm not going to be satisfied until I can make sure that every single county resident, every farmer, every business person, every employee, every teacher, every administrator, every whoever, if you live in Prince George County, I'm working for you. And I'll walk off when I know that, number one, things have been done and put in place to make sure that all residents are benefiting. And I'll walk off when, number two, I'll make sure that whoever's coming after me is going to continue to do those things. And so until those two things are in place, yeah, you're going to be seeing this face, you're going to be hearing this voice. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Okay? And listen, if you want to see more about what's going on, there's a whole lot more here on the adopted budget. I suggest you go look it up, man, because I'm telling you right now, we talk about tourism, and I'm going to get into that in a second. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to jump ahead. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to the future. Okay? I'm going to get to the future. The future's now. The future's right now. Listen, I've already talked to you about what's going on with the military. I already talked to you about what's going on internationally. I've already talked to you about what I'm seeing as a prospects for the future, okay? At some point in the next 2, 5, whatever years, there's going to be some kind of international conflict that's going to require us to amp up substantially in our number of in-person troops that are going to be on the ground. They're going to be boots on the ground somewhere. Okay, that's just going to happen. Okay, the United States military is going to continue to grow. The United States military continues to grow. Our local economy is going to have to grow to meet that, because Fort Gregg, the third largest training site in the United States Army, is located in our county. We're going to have to meet that obligation. Okay, so currently, right now, the United States Army is offering $5,000 for enlistment incentives, okay? Listen, that's for new recruits. And the thing is, they've changed the way that they're doing their recruiting right now. So in the past, they were mainly recruiting just high school kids who were barely graduating high school. They wanted to bring them in enlisted. They were getting them a little sign and bump. But a lot of these kids are the ones who they were considering not really having a chance out here in the economy. And so they would join the military. That's not what's happening anymore. Now they've changed it. They're looking for people who have some college, some who've already graduated from college, people who've been in the workforce. They're up in the age of people that they're looking for, and they're offering between $35,000 to $50,000 to sign on. And listen, they're looking for people with specific skill sets. Okay, so if you are doing repair, if you're doing support, if you know anything about cyber, if you know anything about coding, depending upon the level of expertise you have, the United States Army is willing to pay you a little bit more, foreign language skills, as a bump to join, okay? So what that means is, if they're willing to partner with us at a community level, which, look at the Good Neighbor program. Fort Gregg has made a big deal about partnering with us locally, with businesses and with our school systems and the community and nonprofits, okay, to help build our community. As a school system, piggybacking off the last video, it would behoove us to fund our schools with programs that can help our kids transition to a career. Everybody's not going to be in a private business. Everybody's not going to be a small business owner. Everybody's not going to be a big business owner. Everybody's not going to be a farmer. Everybody's not going to go play D1 baseball. Everybody's not going to go use that cool football field and go play field hockey or soccer or football somewhere, okay? Maybe they're going to join the Army. Okay, maybe they're going to join the Army. So wouldn't it behoove us to have a STEM program? Wouldn't it be smart for us to have the classes and to fund them effectively so you can teach the kids, all of our county residents, all of our majority, minority, diverse school, all 54% of the disadvantaged kids that we have coming into our school? Wouldn't it behoove us to fund our schools a little bit better so we can make sure that they have the skills necessary, that if they do decide to enlist in the United States Army or any other branch in the United States military, our fighting force, the people that defend our country, the people that defend our rights, wouldn't it behoove us to fund our schools to make sure that our kids have what's necessary, have the knowledge and the skills to go contribute, to make sure that we're safe? Wouldn't that be smart? Isn't that something that you would vote for? Isn't that something that you think would be beneficial? I think it would be beneficial. All right, look, Army Cyber. Army Cyber seeks to build a modern workforce, okay? This is all off of the Fort Gregg website, okay? Army Cyber seeks to build a modern workforce, form partnerships with local schools and local communities, okay? This is happening. This is happening. Look, it's not just the training, but creating the culture of learning, making it easier for the workforce, both the military side and civilian side, to access opportunities that aren't typically part of the prescribed training path. So there's a bunch of also civilian opportunities that are available right now to people in the county through USA Jobs, through Fort Gregg Adams, to help make some money and to help live a better life, okay? These are the things that we need to be doing. These are the things that going forward into the future, people in a leadership position like me, people who are working with other people in leadership positions throughout the county, whether they're on the board, whether they're in administration, whether they're in county government somewhere else, whether they're in a civic organization, whether they're in the Chamber of Commerce, whether they're a small business association, whatever that is, we need to be in constant contact with our colleagues at Fort Gregg and find out how we can benefit from this relationship. Once again, this is the third largest training site in the United States Army. Okay, there's been substantial growth in Prince George County over the last 20 years with that base. We need to be doing the most that we can to help build this relationship and foster some goodwill to make sure that all of us are successful and all of us are thriving, okay? That's going to include building homes here. That's going to include building the infrastructure, the economic development and prosperity. That's going to include, once the water gets put down, building the homes in the subdivisions, places like Branchester, places like Cedar Creek, places like Brick House Landing, okay? Places like the one that's right there off of, Sandy Ridge, to make sure that the 70,000 troops currently that are passing through, that the 63,000 people that are off post, that the 28,000 people that are there daily, that the 2.4 billion in economic impact. Let's make sure that we build the homes, the mixed-use development, the shops, the businesses. Let's have the opportunities available to make sure that we can take advantage of these things, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Good. And just to finish, just future-wise, the fastest growing industries in the state of Virginia, in the country. In the state of Virginia, in the country. I've got the work right here, and they've got some numbers. I'm just going to name off a few. U.S. Labor Department and Bureau of Labor Statistics project will be the fastest growing jobs going into 2030. And this is just along with the median pay. So these are projections going into the next decade, okay? Your biggest businesses, these are your booming industries. These are the ones that are going to pay the best. These are the ones that are going to have the most opportunities available. And these are also the ones that are tailor-made for our local economy, that are place-based economic initiatives that we can institute right now to benefit everybody in the county. Number one, healthcare. Okay, you've got nurse practitioners starting out at 111,000. Of course, in our market, they're probably not going to start out that way, but it ain't going to be much less. Physical therapist assistants, 59,000. Okay, home health professional and care aides. Okay, medical health and service managers. Okay, physician's assistants, genetic counselors. Okay, athletic trainers, health specialties, teachers, post-grad, and teachers in college. I mean, healthcare is a growing field. We've got an aging population in our country. It's not going to go anywhere. Wouldn't it behoove us to fund some programs in our school, to get some partnerships with Rwani, to get some partnerships with the old John Randolph, to get some partnerships with different hospitals, to get some partnerships, and to help get some of our young men and some of our young women in some of these programs to partner with Fort Gregg to do these things, okay? Green tech. I know you guys are scared of solar farms. I know they're bad. I know they're the devil. I know they came from the pits of hell. I get all that kind of stuff. Still, you're talking about green tech being big business in the future of this county. All right. Solar photovoltaic installers, 46 grand. Wind turbine service technicians, 56 grand. Okay. You're talking about data scientists for these things, 98 grand. Computer programmers, coders, 85 grand. Okay. So maybe if you don't want the solar panels here, maybe if you don't want the wind turbines here, it might not be bad for your child to know how to do these things. It might not be bad for your son and daughter to have the skills learned at their public schools that are funded well in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, at the A for agriculture and art, so to be STEAM. It wouldn't be bad to fund those programs. So even if you don't want these things in your local community, the local communities that do have these things, now your child has the knowledge and the know-how to go do them. Or maybe your child has the knowledge and the know-how to join the United States military, United States Army, and go do these things somewhere and get paid $50,000 to sign up from the beginning, have a thriving career, have a house, have the health care paid for, et cetera, right? Very good. Hospitality and tourism. Hospitality and tourism is one of the fastest growing industries in the country. And the reason that is post-COVID, people are getting back on the road. People want to travel. People come from outside of this country to travel and see our great country, and we go do the same thing. Also, as I stated in the first video that I did on this YouTube channel, sports tourism is booming. It is a booming industry. Everybody's kids play travel ball now. Rec departments people don't play rec ball anymore. If you want your son or daughter to get a scholarship, and trust me, college is expensive, your son and daughter is probably going to need a scholarship to go. Okay? Even if they go on a D3 level, they're going to give your kid some money to come play there. Your kid can hit that transfer portal and be D1 after 2 years. Sports is big business. Travel is big business. Your kid's going to have to play for some travel program at some point to get seen to go do that. And while you're doing that, in the process, you're going to spend thousands of dollars signing your kid up to be on that team. You're going to spend thousands of dollars traveling around to watch your kid play for that team. You're going to spend thousands of dollars buying equipment for your kid to play for those teams. So over the course of the 10, 12 years that your kid's going to do these activities, you're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that. And so whole industries, whole towns have been created to do that. You got places like Lake Point, Georgia, for PBR that I had never heard of until a couple of years ago. Now they're building facilities out there. They've got 12 baseball fields that are beautiful. They're booming. People are on those fields 10 months out of the year. You've got soccer, you've got field hockey, you've got lacrosse, you've got travel football. One of the big new sports that we have now, we're just starting to do it with Prince George in varsity, at the varsity level, swimming. You have people that are building these arenas, these multiple sports arenas, like the one in Henrico that's hosting the A10 tournament. They also have these 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools in there. And so now you have travel swimmers. This is big business now. I train a bunch of swimmers in the gym right now. They're going to come in and you have these tournaments. People are doing this all year round. They're coming from California. They're coming from Texas. They're coming from Florida. They're coming from Michigan. They're coming from Ohio. They're coming from New York. They're coming from Vermont. They're coming from South Carolina. And they're swimming. People are starting to do water polo on the East Coast now because now we've got Stanford and we've got Cal that are going to be in the ACC. These are opportunities for your child to grow and develop. So sports tourism and hospitality is a booming industry. And wouldn't you know that Prince George has thousands of acres of land for sale that we could easily turn into a sportsplex. I know someone did a video like that before. We could easily develop our major highways. That would be 460. You got Route 10. You could do 301. Doesn't have to be everywhere. Just specific places. I know I've already said that. Where you can put the hotels. Where you can put the mixed-use development. Okay? Where you can put the new shops. Where you can have all the things necessary to build the business infrastructure around that can capture these travelers and capture these tourists coming into town. They can also come in. They can visit historic sites. They can go to the Women's Museum that's on Fort Gregg. Okay, they can go to Hopewell. They can go to Petersburg. Okay, they can go down a 5 and Dime Trail. They can take advantage of all these things. But when they come back and they want to stay, they can stay in Prince George County. When they come back and they want to eat, they can eat in Prince George County. When they go talk about making a return trip for the next year and telling their friends what good service they got, what good food they got, they can say, hey, that was in Prince George County. These are the things that we need to be talking about when we're talking about the future and how we're going to grow and develop and provide the vision and the mission statement that's currently been put in place. Okay? Listen, data collection and info, you're talking about the data centers. These data centers, they're popping up. Everything's online. Facebook, Instagram, Google, they've got to collect this data. They've got to manufacture this data. They've got to protect this data. These centers are going up everywhere, okay? This is what the economy is now, folks. This is what America is now. This is what America is now, okay? And you can keep fighting and you can keep pretending that's not what it is or that magically it's going to morph and going to go back into something else, into some bygone era. It's not going to, okay? This is what the country is right now. The Board of Supervisors, the county administrator, they've already said that we've transitioned into an industrial and informational economy. If you look at what the fastest growing industries are in the country right now, it's right there with us. It's right there with us, okay? Bottom line, look, man, you know, and this video is a little bit long. A lot of you guys don't watch the whole videos anyway. That's why I splice them together. If you are going to watch the video, I'm not going to make some appeal to you to go out to the polls and go vote for me and say, if you don't vote for me, everything's going to be terrible, because that's not true. It's just not true. Okay. Things are probably going to get better. They're going to move along a little bit more slowly than I would like, but hopefully people have enough sense to understand these things in the long term where they are going to get better. But what I am going to say to you is you better be paying real close attention to what's going on in Prince George County. Okay. You know, and Ariel, get off your phones, you know, just pay attention. A lot of you guys already know what's going on. You got eyes, you've been here long enough, you see what's happening. Pay attention, man, okay? Make sure that the people that you have in positions of leadership, make sure that the people that you have that say that they're representing you are actually representing you, that they're doing the best that they can for all county residents, okay? Prince George County, once again, is one of the most diverse counties in the Commonwealth of Virginia, okay? It is the mission and it is the obligation and it is the responsibility of anybody in a position of leadership to do what's best for all county residents, okay? So what that means is that with the vision and with the mission statement and with the strategic plan currently laid out by the Board of Supervisors, with the community profile telling you exactly who you are, with Fort Gregg Adams being our major economic asset into the county, looking at global trends, okay, looking at what's going on in the future, we need to put the plan in place. First thing we need to do, we need to get the money for the water. We need to get the water for everything. Look, guys, everything else, we need to get the water for the money. I mean, we need to get the money for the water. We need to make sure that we get the $40 million. Everything's already been approved. Everything's already been approved. Once we do that, the other pieces can fall into place, okay? That's where the battle is. The battle right now is, are we going to do what's necessary, and are we going to make the necessary investments in our county infrastructure to ensure that we can be a healthy and prosperous community going forward, okay? That's the question, all right? You go to the polls, you vote for me. I want you to know that every single day, that's my mission. Every single day. Every single day, my mission is to get this done, and to get this done as quickly and as effectively as possible, okay? That means talking to our delegates. That means talking to our state senators. That means going up to Richmond and talking to the governor. That means writing to our elected House of Representatives. That means writing to our 2 senators. That means writing to whoever the president is. That means taking trips. That means begging for people. That means making phone calls. Whatever I have to do to get that done, I'm going to get that done. And once we get that done, we're going to start marching forward. We're going to start doing what's best for every county resident, okay? Because that time has come, all right? It's time to do what's best for all residents in Prince George County, not just a select few, okay? I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank those that have actually subscribed to the channel, that have watched my videos, that have taken the time to actually watch the shorts. I want to thank everybody that's already cast a ballot and voted for me. I want to thank those people that haven't done it, that will be doing it in the future. I appreciate it. I appreciate your respect, and I appreciate you having faith in me, okay? I plan on winning this thing. I plan on being one of the board members, and when I get there, I plan on representing you as faithfully, as effectively, and as responsibly as I can, okay? Thank you, guys. Let's get it.